secrets on this episode, secrets that you may not have known.
I'm excited to hear some secrets.
You know what? That just shows you were listening.
I am listening.
I love that.
The hosts were listening that time.
This is amazing. Okay, let's keep it going.
All right.
You probably know that a lot of people visit Walt Disney World. You've seen pictures. You obviously know, we've talked about how big it is. But did you know that it's about 48 million people visit Walt Disney World per year?
No, I didn't. That's a lot of people. Just do the math on that. Hold on. Let me get my calculator out.
I will let you pull out your...
It's 48 million people visit the park a year, right?
Yes.
Times average ticket. Let's just round it off.
Oh, you're going to do math like
to $150.
Okay.
48. How many zeros is 48 million?
That's 4 million people per month.
My calculator doesn't even go that high. That's how much money Walt Disney makes. My calculator just got an error.
Just crashed on us. Great.
Wow.
So just think about that. That is a lot of people. So the main takeaway on that is just think of the cast members and all the magic that they do and provide for guests every day, every hour, every minute. Really make sure that you're treating them well because, wow, that's a lot of folks, all different types of personalities. You know, we all have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
We all have meltdowns, been there, but you definitely want to make sure you're treating the cast members well.
And if you go during the holidays, 38 million are there that day.
That one day.
On Thanksgiving Day, 38 million people are in Magic
Christmas?
Kingdom. Yeah, Christmas, Thanksgiving,
all those
New
things.
Year's, all those holidays.
I don't know. I didn't feel like Thanksgiving was all that busy.
We didn't go on Thanksgiving. We went Thanksgiving week, but we didn't go on Thanksgiving.
Like,
it was pretty busy.
To the Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, it was busy during the day.
I guess that's true.
There's like this peak time. You get to go rope drop. You can get a couple things in. And then from about 11 to 4 or 5, that's peak people time.
Whoa, say that again.
That's peak people time.
That's your nightmare right there.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of your nightmare, I was thinking of you today because I happened to see Go Away Green. That was a secret that we shared at the last episode about how Disney does this color. If you guys haven't listened to that episode, we talk about how Disney uses this gray-green color so that it draws your eye away from whatever they're trying to hide. And it just made me think of you like head to toe and Go Away Green.
Not like that. Not like the... You ever seen like TikTok, the green screen guys?
Yeah.
Where they're in
it's not
spandex.
Bright.
You can't even see their eyes.
Nothing like that, but I think that's what maybe introverts need to wear is like just go away green.
So a big green shirt, just a big green T-shirt.
Gray green.
What's gray green?
Okay, well, I'll let you Google a picture of it.
All right.
While we're waiting. It's Go Away Green Disney, and you can see the exact shade, but it's like a grayish color.
Go Away Green Disney.
With a hint of green, and I'm just laughing because I think that should be the team colors for introverts.
All right, I'm down.
We'll put you on it. We'll put our oldest on it.
Oh, this is it right here.
She's a big introvert.
I know, right?
Okay.
Go Away Green. They put it on all the walls and everything.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm down.
Okay.
You paint me green for that.
All right. Next secret, we're going to head over to Disney's Animal Kingdom. Everyone knows about the Tree of Life being this beautiful tree, 140-foot tall tree, by the way, that was created with 30,000 plants and flowers. And one of the secrets that I never knew about before, but we've shared many times, is actually the 3D film, It's Tough to Be a Bug. Make sure you guys check it out. We've talked about that plenty of times on the episodes before.
That's if you've been to Disney a lot, that's not a secret. But if you're new, if you're first time to Animal Kingdom, you probably don't even know it's there.
Read the map. That's all I got to say. Don't discredit the old school maps. Like, they actually are a thing. Like, don't just rely on your phone because sometimes, like, the screen can be funny or too small. Get an old school map. You'll know it's there. If you actually read the map, which we didn't do for years going to Animal Kingdom. Anyways, within one of the routes that extends past the Tree of Life, did you know that there's something hidden inside?
Well, I knew that the tree had animals hidden on it. Is that what you mean?
No. So we'll talk. So what you're talking about are the animal carvings, right?
Right. Like the Tree of Life is made up of a whole bunch of animal carvings that you it's almost like Where's Waldo? You look at the tree and you're kind of trying to find which animal you can spot.
Well, since you threw out that secret of there being animal carvings, there's actually, or that fact, the secret is there's over 300, and it includes a dinosaur and a hidden Mickey.
It does?
If you check it out. But we'll talk about more in a second. But no, that's not what I was referring to about there being in the route that extends past the life. There's actually something hidden. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Within the roots, you'll discover a sculpture of an ant.
An ant?
An ant. And it just might seem like just like another thing, or some people like us have really tried to find it because it doesn't come out to you in plain sight. But actually there is a backstory with the ant and how the ant is the reason behind the whole tree.
Huh.
And how the ant is basically planted the seed for the tree of life, hoping to grow and attract more animals. And eventually the ant's goal and job and wish came true because that's exactly what happened.
Wow. Now it's a whole tree of animals.
Now it's a whole tree of animals and tree of land to attract all that to the land and make it what it is.
You know what I think of when someone says ant? The first thing I think of? The Pink Panther.
I don't know what that is.
You never know you don't know what the Pink Panther is?
I never watched the Pink Panther. I'm sorry.
But there's a Pink Panther joke.
Oh.
And do you know the theme song for Pink Panther?
No, but I feel like you just aged yourself.
I did. Forget it. I'm moving on.
You should probably cut this out.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So isn't that really cool? You have to, I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is. So maybe next time you go over to the Tree of Life and see the root system, really pay attention and try to find where this hidden ant will be. It'll be a lot of fun.
Is it teeny tiny?
It's not teeny tiny, no.
So it's like the size of a real ant. You got to look for it.
No, goodness, that would be really difficult.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
See people up there with magnifying glasses trying to. What are you doing, sir? I'm looking for this ant I heard on the podcast.
Oh no!
Can you help me out here?
Those unlocking people again. No, thankfully it is not that small, so hopefully you'll be able to find it relatively easy, but it is there. And in the meantime, definitely check out the Tree of Life and try to find all the animals. To me, it's a real fun place just to hang and watch because it's truly amazing about how many different animals they were able to put on this sculpture of the tree. But what I really thought was cool was that an interesting fact that I found, not only is there a hidden Mickey there, but there was a secret that each artist that was doing these carvings only had about 6 to 10 hours to complete the animal sculpture before the plaster was too hard to manipulate.
Wow.
So you really had to not only be so amazing at your craft, but quick. Because that's not a lot of time. I mean, think about how long it takes us to draw, I don't know, one logo.
So you draw it, by the time you're done drawing, it's dried.
It's dry.
You can't make a mistake then.
No, that's the thing.
Wow.
The other secret with the Tree of Life, this is not just a Tree of Life show, but I just thought that these were really interesting facts. That one thing that you might be surprised that I don't think we've shared before was that the structure is actually made of an upside down oil rig.
I did know that because if you watch I think there's a series on Disney Plus about Disneyland being created. They talk a little bit about that. Not a lot, but a little.
Yeah. And
I've watched some videos on YouTube, but it's interesting to see how they put that together. So the Tree of Life is from an oil rig. It's kind of weird if you think about it.
It's weird, but also kind of incredible the way they were able to reuse and recycle something and make it what it is.
I mean, that's the ingenuity of Imagineering, right?
It really is.
Being able to take something that's not meant for that.
Right.
Just like the elevator for Tower of Terror. Like the elevator for Tower of Terror was not meant to do what it does. They took something that existed and they formatted it to what they wanted it to do.
It's amazing and completely creative. I just commend them so much because I would never know. I didn't know until today. So.
All right, can I give you one?
Let's go.
All right, mine's a little bit of history here.
Okay.
So we all know who Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is, correct?
Of course.
Oswald.
Maybe not.
All right, well, Oswald, if you're not familiar, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was Walt's first cartoon, not his first cartoon drawing, but his first character before Mickey Mouse. And the story goes that he signed up with a production team in New York, but as the artist, he kind of signed over all the rights to the production company or the company that released the shorts into movie theaters. And he lost the rights. And in losing the rights, he kind of lost all of his company. And the story goes on his train ride back from losing the rights, he came up with Mickey Mouse. So he lost the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, but in so, he created Mickey Mouse, and in so, he created this whole company. Now, you've probably seen Oswald the Lucky Rabbit at the parks, or you've seen cartoons, which means Disney got them back. They got back the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, right? Do you know how they got the rights back?
I actually never investigated of how they did that.
All right, it's a funny story. And it goes down in, if you're familiar with sports, you know about trades. You trade one player for another, right? Like you say, all right, I have this player, he's not happy here, or his contract's expiring. I'll trade you him, and you give me something back. So when Disney, who owns ESPN, acquired the rights to Monday Night Football. They acquired the rights contractually to one of the announcers, Al Michaels, who is a famous football announcer.
Okay.
And he was part of Monday Night Football. So Disney had this problem. They had two production teams for Sunday Night Football, which they already owned, and now Monday Night Football, which they acquired, and they didn't need it. So they wanted to do something with it. So the guy said, hey, I'm going to talk to Bob Iger, and I'm going to say, hey, listen.
Like, it's that easy.
Yeah, I'm going to call Bob Iger. Well, he was the head of Disney, and he's part of ESPN.
Gotcha, okay.
So he said, hey, what are we going to do with this Monday Night Football gang? Al Michaels is not happy with his contract. He wants out. And Bob Iger said, you know what? I'll let Al Michaels out of his contract if NBC gives us the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So in the greatest trade of any trade, Disney traded Al Michaels for the rights to get back Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
I did not know that.
So if you see Oswald the Lucky Rabbit in Disney or a cartoon, you can thank Al Michaels for wanting to get out of his contract.
He was traded for that. Wow.
A football announcer was traded for the rights to use Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
They really wanted it back, though, huh?
They did.
That was something that they were really kind of hurt with.
So when he found this out, the guy's name was George. He said, I called Bob, the CEO of Disney, and said, hey, I got news for you. Al Michaels wants out of his contract. And then Bob Iger goes, okay, I'm willing to let Al Michaels, if you go and get us the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit from NBC. After a slight pause, the guy, George, he goes, who or what is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit? So Bob Iger knew what it was, but the guy who was negotiating with him didn't.
Well, did you really? I mean, without doing this podcast and really taking a deep dive in history, do you think that the average person would know who Oswald, I don't even know if our kids did.
No, but this is the next sentence here from Bob is kind of why people are happy he's back. He said, well, it goes back into the very beginning of Walt Disney's career, Iger explained. Oswald is a revered figure at Disney, and I'd like to get him back. So Bob Iger has kind of always had, and I think that's why people are happy he's back. He's always kind of had that history and nostalgia factor to the company.
He's always appreciated where things started.
Like if Bob Chapek was negotiating, he wouldn't ask for Oswald. He would have asked for $4 million.
Right.
So right. I thought that was an interesting story.
Yeah. Now, do people appreciate that and want that, or would they rather the $4 million to create something?
$4 million, I think they'd give up Al Michaels.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? Take Al Michaels. We'll take Oswald.
Yeah.
Would you rather have dolls of Al Michaels in the parks or Oswald the Lucky Rabbit?
Well, I'm just asking, the average person, maybe obviously that's the goal of our show, too, is just to touch on the Disney history and help people understand where it started and what the significance is of a lot of things. But I'm just wondering, how, okay, we introduced Oswald. Do people know right away?
I don't think a lot of people know who Oswald is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think your hardcore Disney fans like us do.
Yeah.
And understand the history and where he came from. But the average Disney fan, and definitely the newbie Disney person, probably doesn't even know who Oswald is.
Yeah. I'm just curious to see how the merchandise is going with. I mean, obviously I own Oswald stuff and you do too. But
yeah, I have a mug. I think I have a mug and a hat maybe somewhere.
And I'm sure there's plenty of Disney fans like us that are able to carry that. But I'm just curious to see merchandise-wise, what they're doing with it and if it's making them any money.
It's funny, though, because if you think about it, you didn't see any Oswald stuff. So this happened in, I don't know if the year is here when exactly this happened, but you do, October in 2006, 2007, around that time. Okay. If you noticed around that time or shortly after that, there was an explosion of Oswald cups and shirts, and just him in the parks and his presence was way higher than it was before that, obviously because they didn't have the rights to it.
Right. Right. So, well, it's not their property,
right.
Not their character.
I thought that was interesting.
It is very interesting, and I just hope that people kind of are able to understand where it came from and the significance of it when they see in the park. It's really cool to me. I love the nostalgia. So.
Oswald's the first character that really started it for Walt. It was the first character that he drew that started to be successful.
So that he knew that he could do it.
He didn't, because he thought that was going to be it, and then it got stolen from him.
Yeah, but it gave him the confidence, I think, or the nerve to create and try to find another character to replace him.
Yeah. And I think that he learned a lesson from that where he was really protective of Mickey Mouse after that because of what happened to Oswald.
Sure. I mean, the company you can't have anything.
Yeah.
Again, you kind of have to understand and appreciate, they don't want maybe their name behind something that they don't know of, and so. All right, next one. This one isn't as cool as yours, but I love the whole mysteriousness of it. And in fact, I wanted to do a whole show about it. I just haven't had the time to really dive deep. But this one is about Discovery Island and how this is basically a secret in plain sight in Walt Disney World.
I always get, you know what I always get confused?
What's
I always
that?
get Discovery Island confused with the old water park.
Oh, yeah. There's that too, but a lot of people actually get Discovery Island confused with the section that is in Animal Kingdom Park.
And when I say old water park, there's some people who have been
That's true.
to the water park. It didn't
Yeah.
close that long ago. In the history of Disney, it
Yeah.
was like, I think it was even the late 90s, early 2000s, wasn't it, when it closed?
Well, going back to Discover, we could talk about that
Yeah.
on another time. But on this particular one, prior to the opening of Animal Kingdom, there was a large island still there in the middle of Bay Lake, which is right in front of the Magic Kingdom. So if you're ever around Bay Lake, you'll see or if you're heading to the Magic Kingdom, you'll see this big island in the centerpiece. And it was where guests would visit and see small wildlife. So small wildlife. And the park cost about $12 for adults. And it operated in the 70s, late 70s, so 1974 all the way through the 90s. And inside the park, you could see large like birds and different types of species and plant life. And it was a really interesting place to visit.
We should do a podcast of Discovery Island and River Country. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
I would love to do that, a whole podcast about that.
Or separate them.
Can you do a whole podcast about Discovery Island, though?
I don't know. I think you could. I mean, I could.
All
I
right.
feel like I could talk enough about what it is and what it started and how it came to be. But I think this is something that is really interesting, and people, I think, are so fascinated that there was actually a YouTuber that snuck on the island to take photos.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw your notes on this one, and I did see that there's a video still up about that. Like, he went on there and didn't get it wasn't good for him.
No, it was not good for him. I would
Don't
not,
do that.
Don't do that, please.
Disney
Never.
takes that very seriously. If you get caught, you'll get banned.
No, there's a lot more that will happen. So you really can't really see as you're going through with the river, you're going on the boat, either from the resort boat or you're taking the boat to the ferry boat to the Magic Kingdom. You can't really tell, but I think it would be fun to just imagine what it'd be like right on that island.
If you ever take one of those fireworks cruises, if you get to go alone as a family, you can ask the captain if they're knowledgeable about the area. They'll show you around, not show you around on the island a little bit, but they'll bring you around the island on the water and kind of explain what happened there.
It's really fun. An interesting little secret there that many people kind of don't realize, or they just think that, you know, it's just an overgrown place now. I always wondered if Disney will ever do anything with it. Maybe not necessarily. I don't think it will ever be a place where you go see species of birds again necessarily, because you have Animal Kingdom,
Right.
but it would be cool if they did something.
I don't think they would do it because of the location of it.
Yeah.
It's harder nowadays to do things like that. You know what happens is every time something happens, there's a new rule put in place because of that one time it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So as you just move forward, there's just more and more logistics and laws and
Things get better
permits.
because of it.
Yeah, it's just harder and harder to do things that, like River Country. I know I keep going back to that. You couldn't do that. You couldn't swim in that water today.
No, but like River Country, yeah, that's true. But with this particular, it's like a centerpiece. Like,
Well, didn't the idea for Animal Kingdom come from that?
yeah, but my point is, like, it's something that at least River Country is hidden.
Yeah.
You don't really know. If you don't know what you're looking for, you'll never know where it was. This, you pass by.
They
like,
should do something Halloween Horror Nights on it.
I don't know.
Like Halloween Horror Nights on Discovery Island in the shambles it is.
It's just weird that they don't address it at all. Like, they don't even have a sign saying, like, this used to be. Like, I don't know, something so that it's just not just this overgrown.
The Disney's not the most forthcoming with information.
But it.
Like, we still don't know when Tron's opening.
That's true.
They said a timeline, but they didn't tell us. They don't give us the details.
Here's a secret. There were some Imagineers, cast members riding it the other day.
All right, on Tron?
Yeah.
I've been cool.
That's really fun.
I hope that it opens and it's good because we've all been anticipating it for so long. But that's an interesting fact about Discovery Island. Can I share my next one?
Let's go.
And this goes back to my whole beginning of the show when I said it's cool to see when celebrities or people you're aware of who are Disney fans.
Mhm.
And you know who the Beatles are, right?
Of course.
Well, there's the Beatles, the John Lennon, they broke up. And when they broke up, they had to sign paperwork to kind of dismember the band or disband the band. Is that how you say it?
I don't think it's dismember.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't want to say that.
Okay.
Disband the band. I don't know how the proper pronunciation or context.
Break up. They broke up.
They broke up.
They had a break
When they
up.
broke up, they had to sign paperwork saying, hey, we're done.
Yeah.
Do you know where he was when he signed the paperwork to break up the Beatles?
I do not.
He was at the Polynesian Resort.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
It turns out John Lennon was a big Disney fan.
Well, that's cool.
And when they were breaking up, in the process of breaking up, he was in New York with all the band members, and they were going through with the lawyers, and he's like, I got to get out of here. And he went to Disney World.
Oh,
and the lawyers had to go down and find him at Disney World and have him sign the papers to end the Beatles.
So happy, sad? I don't know. That's weird. Like, I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't want to.
It's kind of happy, and it's not. It's happy because John Lennon was a big Disney fan.
Right. That's what I would want to think about. But the fact that they broke up is kind of sad, and the fact that it's, now we know that it's at the Polynesian.
Right.
Bummer.
True, bummer, but it's just like I thought back. You know what? It goes back to the whole like John Lennon was a really big figure.
Yeah.
He still kind of is, even though he's been so long since he's passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He was a really popular, very big, idolized figure, and turns out he was a Disney fan.
That's so cool.
And he just liked to go to Disney and escape.
Yeah.
Go to Florida. Hey. Unfortunately, he signed the paperwork to break up the Beatles in the Polynesian
couldn't
Resort.
he have done it at least, like, I don't know, somewhere, not maybe, like somewhere off property? Like, it'd been like, hey, you know what? We don't want to, like, match.
You know what? I'm going to sign these over at the Good Neighbor Hotel over there.
Or anywhere else.
The bad juju to the Polynesian.
Yeah, just something where it doesn't feel like it'll be like a haunted place. Right? Although maybe that's cool. I don't know. All right, my next one is a question that will lead to the secret. What is the oldest attraction in Walt Disney World?
The oldest attraction in Walt Disney World. Well,
yes.
That's a good question.
So think about
obviously
all the
Magic Kingdom is the first park that was built, so it's got to be there.
I see. I like how you're subtracting. That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
The first park built in Walt Disney World was Magic Kingdom. It's got to be there.
Okay.
And of the attractions in Walt Disney World, I know it's not Tron.
It's definitely not Tron.
That's not even open yet. I'm going to say, well, that's a great question. I'm going to say small. No.
Should we add some like...
hold on. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Is that your final answer?
Carousel of Progress.
I mean, you're so close on all these.
Am I really close?
Well, maybe
Carousel.
Not. Maybe not.
The Carousel.
Maybe you're not so close. It's just that you're...
Mine Train. I'm just going to name all the attractions until I get it right.
Well, one of those was correct.
Oh, one of them was... okay, hold on a second. I'm going to say Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, well, you're wrong.
Dang.
You're so close, though, because you did mention it. It's actually the Prince Charming Regal Carousel.
Oh, I knew it.
It was...
Why can't I remember that?
It's the oldest attraction in Walt Disney World because it was constructed in 1917.
1917?
That's right. The attraction began life as a Liberty Carousel at Belle Isle Park in Detroit, Michigan. Disney purchased the carousel, and it has been the staple at Walt Disney World Resort in Magic Kingdom since 1971.
They did I think there was a show on Disney Plus where they talked about, was it Prop Culture?
It might have been.
Where they talked about the horses, and I believe those horses are pretty expensive.
They are worth quite a bit.
So and I'm like, those are that much, and you let people ride them?
Like, how many people ride them? So there's, what did we say?
48 million.
Yeah, ride them every year. That's
just
a
about.
Lot. That's a lot. I mean, all right, maybe not everybody rides the carousel, but
who doesn't ride the carousel?
You know, that's the thing. Like, isn't this the attraction that it's like a must do?
This is the attraction at Disney where I feel the most like a kid.
Yeah.
And I let my inner child out the most.
It's like a rite of passage, right?
It's like you sit on that horse and you like immediately your hands get thrown up in the air and you make goofy faces.
Like, how can you worry about a thing when you're on that?
The only thing I worry about when I'm sitting on the horse on the carousel is in the back of my mind, I'm just hoping it holds my weight.
I thought you were like, is Connie wearing the relief band?
No, that's all I'm thinking about.
No.
Is please don't let this horse break while I'm on it.
Yeah, that's now that we know how much they're worth and what they've done to them since they purchased, obviously they had to do quite a bit because they know that so many people ride them on a daily basis. But yes, it's the 1917. So next time you're there, you're really seeing a piece of history, which
that's cool.
Is really incredible.
I knew those were old. I don't know why I didn't think of that the first thing. I probably should have thought of that first. I know that you guys try to get me to go on that every time, and at first I don't want to, but then once I'm on, I'm like, "What? This is so
happy.
fun!" Yeah,
you're so happy.
There's nothing super exciting about it. There's no drops or it's just fun.
You know what's so funny now that you say that is the fact that I have a photo of you the last time you were on. Oh, maybe not was the last time, but it was a photo of you with the kids, and it's not only getting you to get on, but you're miserable until it actually starts going. Like you just don't want to be on it.
Yeah.
And I have a photo of you, and then 2 seconds later, when it's going, you're like a different person.
It's fun. I don't know what happens. All of a sudden, my inner child comes out.
You're all of a sudden like you don't want to do it. It's like the introvert in you, right? You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Then you
It
do
is
you're
very
like,
exposed.
You're like, wow, I actually enjoy
This is
myself.
fun. You know, you're sitting on a horse as an adult,
Yeah.
and there's a whole bunch of people staring at you.
Right. Which I can understand is, especially if you're concerned that you're going to break the thing.
Oh, I'm always concerned about that.
You know what I mean? So I can feel the embarrassment that you must,
Yeah.
feel. So.
Oh, do you? You know the embarrassment I
Well,
must feel?
I mean, I can see on the look. I got to share that picture somehow because it's
Club UTM.
Okay.
That's where you can share that. That's the only place that'll be ever allowed to be shared. ClubUTM.co. First month free.
My next one, and I believe it's my last secret that I have to share today. I'm going to talk about something in Hollywood studios. So, Phantasmic, as you know, legendary tale featuring stunning effects.
Just recently reopened.
Recently reopened, thrilling stunts, dazzling pyrotechnics, rousing music, larger than life show. I'm reading exactly what Disney has here. Painted on a grand canvas of dancing water and light, overflowing with silly and suspenseful surprises. So not only does this show leave your family smiling from ear to ear.
They wrote all this?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Anyway, there's a secret. The lagoon that premieres the show, Phantasmic, is only 1.5 feet deep.
How is that possible?
I do not know.
I feel like the Splash Mountain water is deeper than that.
Doesn't it seem like it would be so much deeper than it is? And I really had to do some serious digging to really fact check this. But 1.5 feet deep, it doesn't appear that to be that way. But
No, it doesn't.
But it is.
So don't fall in that water. You're going to hurt yourself. You're not going to be that deep.
Don't go close. Definitely not. But it is something that, to me, because the show itself is larger than life, and you just see this beautiful lagoon glistening in the night sky.
Well, you do say that, and if you go on the riverboat and you look down at the water from the top, it's not that deep either.
That's true. You
can definitely see the curvature of the sides, and you're like, that's not that deep.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
So
the illusion does make it seem that
that's why the dirty water. Yeah, like when you go to the Jungle Cruise, the water's dirty. It's not naturally dirty. They make it that way so you can't see the animatronics in the bottom of the water.
So there you go. That's how the effects are there. And
that's why when you lose your phone over the edge, you can't find it.
That's right. It's a bummer.
So there you go.
All right.
There's that.
Do you have any more?
Nope, I do not. Let's leave. If there is any more, we'll do it on another podcast episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Unlocking the Magic Travel as well.
That's right.
Head over to unlockingthemagictravel.com if you're going to Disney or Universal or on a Disney cruise or maybe even an Adventures by Disney. We've been looking at those Adventures by Disney. They look kind of cool, especially the Southern California one.
There's a lot that look really interesting and fun. Something different.
Yeah,
sure.
And it's Disney related, so you know the quality is going to be good. But if you're looking at any of that, head over to unlockingthemagic.com or unlockingthemagictravel.com, and we can hook you up with one of our agents to help you have the trip of your life. All right. I think we've wrapped up the show good enough for today.
I think so.
Hopefully you like it. That's the goal.
Right.
We hope you like it. Hit the subscribe button. If you want to leave us a review, you can do that as well. And again, if you want to join us at clubutm.co, first month free. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy holidays to everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next time.